So I am originally born in Tucson. My mother was born out in Tapawa, and I just remember coming out here when I was about 7 with her, and that was the first time kind of getting introduced to this area. And this is where my grandma Juana was, my grandma Juanita Hill, and she was harvesting at this exact location. And of course it looked different when I was growing up, and you know the Ramada was situated where it is now, but structurally it was different, and the landscape was completely different too. There was a lot more plants and more saguaro surrounding her Ramada. But she, you know, I remember coming out here, and my mom was coming out here to pick the first time, and me being so little, she kind of made me stay here because she's like, you know, I don't want to take you, you're going to slow me down. So I was all upset and I was crying, and I ended up, you know, watching them walk off, and my grandma Juana said, no, come sit down with me. And she was doing, prepping, I think, her fibers, or her heej, and she was also starting to make some baskets and stuff. So I was sitting down having downtime with her, and then after that, you know, I kind of stopped crying and I chilled out, and my mom came back. And then, you know, that was the first time I remember coming out here and learning about about the harvest.
So yeah, I was born and raised in Tucson, and my mom and my Aunt Stella were really good friends, and they were very close. And so my dad is actually Stella's brother, but my mom and her were really were friends before she met my dad. So it was interesting because my Aunt Stella would always tell my mom, you know, bring Maria out, bring her out to the camp, you know, so she can come experience the harvest. And so what happened was my mom would come and bring me out here for the weekends, and she would leave me out here, and I would come and spend time with my aunt, and we would be out here, and I learned the whole experience of getting up early in the morning, and she's like, okay, we're gonna go pick. So we would go, and it was not only, we would go get in the truck and we'd drive and we'd go and pick in different areas, and she was always telling me, you know, what to do, how to do things. And then I'd come and we'd, you know, come here, we'd rest for a little bit, and then afternoon would come and she says, okay, we're gonna go out again. So we go out again, and it was just that experience of, you know, being out here with her and having to do that. Those are the times I remember, and I remember just being here and her telling me, you know, this is what we do. And then eventually, as I got older, I think she was like, okay, you do this and you do that. And then I look forward to being out here, and I'd be like telling my mom, you know, when are you going to take me? When are you going to take me to go see my aunt? And she'd be like, oh, okay, well, we'll take you this weekend. So she would drive me out here and leave me here with her. So I spent a lot of time just coming and going. But we would sleep out here, and she would always make coffee in the morning and get ready to go. And I just remember those times being out here, because those are the first memories of being out here. And there was also a time where we were out there, and she'd be like, watch out for the animals. And we got attacked by bees one time. Well, we didn't get attacked. We got chased by bees one time. We were picking. I guess we could hear them, and she could hear them. And all of a sudden, she saw them. She's like, "Run, run, run!" So we started running, but they didn't chase us all the way. Yeah. So those were the times I remember. Yeah. And then I guess as we got older, we spent just more and more time out here. And I think the last 10 years that she was around, I remember just coming here, and she was like, "Okay, you do this. You know what you have to do. You know what needs to be done." I think she was just preparing us. She was really preparing us to what's to come. Yeah.
Without saying it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Passing.
You know, we know that we have that responsibility to hold this space open for not only the tribe but for other, you know, some of her friends and some of the people she worked with for years. And you know, they knew her as this educator, and you know, of doing the harvest and knowing about the harvest. So when they needed that information, they came here. So we feel like, you know, because she's passed on that information to us, we are now that educator, the holder of that information. So, you know, we have people still continuing to come out, and people still, you know, bringing us items. Like I had this gentleman who came out, and I never met him, and I may have saw him when I was younger, but he came out here during the time of my grandma Juana, and he saw a news article after my mom had passed that they came and did on me, and he showed up here, and he brought me an ice chest full of ice and water, and he said, you know, I used to come out here and bring your grandma Juana ice and water, and I brought your mom ice and water, and now you're the one who's taking over, so now I bring you ice and water. And he also handed me this beautiful picture of her that I had never seen, but he took, of her cooking out here. And you know, it was just that felt like, yes, this is a gift that's being handed down. You know, something very important, something very very cherished, you know, by both of them, and also to other people, how much she meant to other people. So, you know, I'm happy that she taught us what she knew, and she included us and made sure we knew that. And you know, after being here with her when she started to get older, I knew there was a huge responsibility for us to be here and to continue on. And you know, she, at the time, with the permit that we have to sign every year coming in, she, you know, seeing that permit to her meant, you know, there was a possibility that there could be taking this land back. And that was something that kind of created fear in her. And I think she knew, you know, if I didn't come back, she thought if that was the case, that this land would be taken and we wouldn't have access to it anymore. So she told me, you know, at one time after we finished signing that permit, she said, you know, I want you to come back here, and you get here every year to sign this permit, because I think they're waiting to take this land back. And, you know, I knew that I needed to be here for her and to continue on doing this for her. Not only that, but for the generations that are going to follow after us. So, you know, it's been beautiful to see the amount of people that are coming out. Not only the groups that used to come out, but even more groups, and more Autumn are coming out, and we're making that connection again and again. And it's, you know, we're being known that we're out here. And I love that, you know, that we can continue to hold this space open, and we do provide, you know, all the supplies, and if we need to reconnect people back to that tradition, we do. And you know, I think it's, you know, something that it's sparking that interest again and again. And yeah, we're just happy, and we know she's happy, and she's not gonna be upset that we didn't continue and haunt us.
Yeah, I think that also too is like when she was telling us that, you know, this is what needed to be done, and we needed you to continue. I think she was just wanting that, like Tanisha was saying, that education. She wanted that education to continue. I remember when we were younger too, as well as, I mean, groups would come out, but not as many as we have now. So I think we've taken out a lot more responsibility of groups that come out, and we're happy for that, because I know that she people were kind of asking to the question of like, when she was around, she would say stuff like, "This is a dying tradition," and I think since her passing and now it's actually being more done, people are doing it more. So I think she would be very happy with that. She would be very happy of knowing that it's growing and people are coming out. Not only non-Othams, but Othams are coming out, and they're doing more picking, and they're bringing this tradition on a lot more. And so I think that us being out here, she would just be so happy and so proud that we are doing this, and it's a lot of work, and I can see how she was out here all the time, and it was a lot for her, and she also had her downtime where a lot of our family would come out as well, and we would be out here, and those were like for San Juan, and then the closing, our family would get together. But yeah, it's a lot of work, and I'm happy. I'm honored that she was able to pass this down to us.
Yeah. Awesome. Thank you.